Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Vision Joe here, and I'm bringing you a brand new YouTube video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created this image on the screen. Just wanted to follow along step by step. I'm going to leave the link to this original image down below, and it can also be found on Google. Just want to take this time to give a big thank you to everyone who's been supporting me over on Instagram. All the support recently has been insane, and I'm somehow about to hit 30,000 followers, and it literally doesn't even make sense. So just thank you to everyone from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me, and it still doesn't even feel real and or possible. So just thank you so much. Sorry about getting all soft on you guys, but I really needed to say thank you because I've never really had the chance, and I felt like it was the perfect time. So for our first step, what we're going to want to do here is head up to our adjustment layers, and we're going to click on color lookup. Next, we're going to click on this little guy, and we're going to hit 2-strip look. And I'm not gonna lie, I may or may not use this on almost every single one of my posts, so if I were you, I would pay attention very closely. Mainly what selective color is just playing around with colors and trying to see which colors work best for the image and look you're trying to go for. So obviously here we have this blue look, so what I did was go into cayennes, and I'm going to crank this first little adjustment thing all the way up to 100, and that's gonna make the blues pop out noticeably more. Next, I'm going to go to my magentas, and I'm going to move it to the left at like a negative 15, and what that does is make them brighter and a little more green. So what I'm noticing here is that the jacket is clearly not a natural color. Like, who has a greenish blue jean jacket? Like, that's just not real. So what I want to do is fix that. So next, I'm going to go down to our yellows here, and that allows us to make it more green or make it more blue and more realistic. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my yellows, and I'm going to keep it at a negative 40. As you guys can see, it didn't necessarily make the jacket more realistic, but if you add more selective color adjustment layers on top of this one and just keep messing with the blues, you'll easily be able to fix it and try and get the blues to feel more natural, I guess. What I always like to do is head over to the neutrals in this selective color layer, and I always like to turn the yellows to the left at least 2 to negative 4. What that does is usually give it more of a purple look, as you guys can see here, but if you go overboard, you'll clearly just absolutely tarnish the image. So I'm going to leave that as a negative 2, and for these top two, I'm just going to kind of play around with and try and figure out which fits best for this image. So just give me 1 sec. So this is what I came up with, was a negative 2, 2, and negative 2. You don't really want to crank your neutrals up too high, because as I showed you before, it can easily destroy your picture. So with some subtle adjustments, you can really change it up just a little bit to get it in the direction of what you're trying to accomplish. Next, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to my reds, and what my reds are going to control are mainly just the colors of her face. So what I usually like to do is turn the reds up to like negative 7, and what that does is just, if you can see, the lips change a little more and makes them more red. Next, I'm going to try and turn these pinks in a more whitish color, and that can be easily done by turning your magentas to the negative side of things. So I'm going to go negative 10 there. And I also want to make it a little more natural, trying to keep it in the same realm of the original image, which it kind of is pretty close in a way, but also not really. And trying to get it to say similar can take hours on hand, so I'm going to try and make this as short as possible so you guys can get a feel to exactly what I do. So back to the reds, if you go to the right here, it makes them orange, and if you go to the left, it makes it pink. So I want to low-key make it more orange, so I'm going to go negative 8. And since there is a little bit of magentas on the face too, we're going to have to go to our magentas layer. I'm going to turn this up, and that's going to turn our reds up just a little more. I'm going to play with these two a little bit too, so I can figure out which works best. Right, after playing with those two, this is what I came up with. It was just positive 3 and a negative 11. It didn't really do much, but subtle changes were indeed made. So next, what I usually like to do, honestly, is go to my adjustments and add some exposure and some darkness. So what I'm going to do is take my gamma and turn it to probably 0.96. That works best for me. I'm down for that. And what this exposure layer does, it's basically like a curve, but without using curves, essentially. Next, I like to turn my offset up to like a 0.20, and that's the shadows up, which can be super helpful in some images because the dark areas just don't look right sometimes. Some pictures, at least. I'm gonna turn that to a 0.2, and for my exposure, I'm going to turn this up a little bit also to try and get the lights and the face to pop. So from here, I already kind of like where I'm at. I'm going to try and get a comparison to my final image and where we're at right now. As you can see, it's kind of not even close because there was a lot of time put into this, but it's somewhat similar in a way. So what I usually do here is I merge them all into a group as I did previously, and I like to hit Control J, Control E to merge it all together, Control A so I can select the border, and then Control J again. So when I go into camera raw filter, I don't have any excess pieces hanging off the sides. It's just the picture itself. So what I like to do from here is go to my temperature and probably turn this up to like a -12. And if you turn the blues to a -12, you want to turn your magentas to a 12. So that kind of evens it out and gives it this cool effect that I've seen a lot of people use, and I also enjoy using it. So next I'm going to go to my presets. I'm going to go down to vignetting, or vignetting, however you say it. I'm going to add a medium vignette on it. And then next I'm going to go to calibration. I'm going to go to blue primary, and I'm going to turn this to probably about -20, honestly. Next I'm just going to play around with this just to see what it does. I'm going to go +9 there. I'm going to go to red primary and just play around with this a little bit, just try and figure out what I'm comfortable with. Alright, these are the numbers I came up with in calibration. I'm currently loving how this is looking right now. It still could use a little more blue, so I'm going to add a little more down the road here. What I also like to do, since I don't have control of the high quality image, I want to make it as sharp as possible, so I turn the sharpness up to about 15 to make it pop just a little more. Next I'm going to go over to my tone curves, and I'm not going to mess with the points itself, but I'm just going to mess with these little adjustment tools here. I'm going to turn the highlights up to 3, lights up to 5, turn the darks to -3, and shadows to 2. The numbers that you're seeing here are usually what I use on every single one of my pictures. It usually comes out to exactly how I want it, so I usually don't change it up. If I do, it's very minor by like a number or 2. So what I'm going to do next is hit OK. As you can see, the changes that we just made, we made this more blue and more purple, and the lights are standing out much more than they were in the first version. Finally, after that, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add another selective color adjustment. To sum up things, this is basically exactly how I do it. Just a lot more time is involved, but for the most part, it's pretty close to how I get my designs. So I'm going to go to my cayennes here, and I'm just going to play with the blues a little bit, just trying to make them brighter and more realistic, and I really like where that's at now. I'm going to head back to my neutrals. I'm going to play with these a little bit. I'm going pretty quick so I can get this video to be as short as possible so it's not as long, because I know me personally don't like watching long videos. Next I'm going to go to my reds and try and mess with the facial tones a little bit. I'm going to make the reds a little brighter. I'm going to get some whites to pop out a little more. Go pink there. Go to my magentas. Go pink again. Make those pop. Bam. Alright guys, just like that, I would say this video is done for now. I want to quickly show you just all the steps and nonsense it actually takes me to make these. So I'm just going to quickly show you all the layers I go through and all the minor changes I make. As you can see, they're really subtle, but they're much needed. There's just a lot going on. No joke, these are literally all the steps I use. It's just stacking selective colors on top of each other. These were just like my blurred background. I didn't do it in this tutorial, but it's super simple. I'm sure most of you could figure out how to do that. But yeah guys, that is basically it. So guys, with some few simple steps, that's how you create these pictures and how you edit like me. So if you don't already, please check out the links in the description below. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, add me on Snapchat. Add it all, do it all. If you found this video helpful, please comment down below so I can know. If you want to see more in the future, please let me know also. That's been all. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. It's been your boy Joe. Peace.